Hey everyone, we're wrapping up Module 1, and so I need you to take out your notes packet. And here's what I want you to put at the top. Now, in your packet, there might be a typo up here because sadly I made the mistake of trying to copy the notes from section 3, and I need you to do this. It says 1.4 on the top, but now what I want you to do is, let me get this working here. All right, have this say apply or applying addition and subtraction. So I'm kind of using some notes, shorthand there, abbreviations for adding and subtracting instead of writing the words. So cross out subtracting for 1.4, put that there. Notice I had the wrong standard. I got just a mess here. Yours says like 7.1.2 point something. So change it to 7.1.1.4, and will you make sure that the pages are 25 to 30? Then we won't be confused, okay? All right, then if you could please, how do I solve, I'm trying to remember how it was worded. How do I solve multi-step problems? Oh, I can't even spell. Let me start over. Problems by adding, and I'm going to abbreviate with a plus sign, and subtracting integers. Question mark. Okay, so let's take a look at this first screen or first chunk in your notes. And it has one side says negative, and I'm also going to put on there like subtract. And then the other side says positive or adding. And I want you to stop the video in just a second and try to brainstorm as many words as you can think that fit into these categories. Okay, so for example, if you ever hear minus or below, or actually the word subtract, it might say something like less or less than. You might see words like drop, decrease, descend is one, especially when we're talking about like planes or things that might go underwater. We got below, loss, thinking football, gains and losses of yards. When you go to the bank or just to an ATM machine, if you withdraw some cash, that's there. That's a good start. Let's see if we can get some. Oh, wait. Sometimes you'll see the word like difference or change, which would imply doing some subtraction or do something with a negative value. On this side, for the positive, I often think of what are the antonyms, meaning opposite words. They're the counterparts to these. So for minus, you might think plus. Below, its counterpart would be above. Less than's partner could be greater than or more than. A drop could be, its counterpart would be rise. Increase for decrease. Let's see. The opposite of descend is ascend. And notice those are spelt kind of funny because the C is silent. A loss could be a gain. Ooh, when we're talking about the bank and money, instead of withdraw, if we're going to add money to an account, we would deposit money in the bank. The difference, that's when you subtract. So a counterpart over here, we could say total, that's supposed to be an A, good grief, or sum, a difference or a change. Yeah, that's a pretty good start. You know, these are words we're going to clue into now to talk about how should we go about solving problems that have all these words in there. And when we do those, and we get a big string of values or numbers or a bunch of series of changes to something, we can employ these two properties that will help make adding and subtracting integers easier. The first one's commutative. I'm going to write that the order doesn't matter. In other words, you can change the order. It only works for addition and for multiplication. It won't work for subtracting, and it doesn't work for division. Here's an example, okay? 56 plus, let's say, negative 10. Okay, if I said, what's 56 plus negative 10? You'd say, well, this negative 10 is like going backwards on the number line after I already went up to 56. Or I have like 56 positive counters and 10 negative ones. I make a bunch of zero pairs. I get 46, okay, when I add those. If I had said, what's negative 10 plus 56? You'd still get 46. You get the same exact answer. It doesn't matter what order you add. The same is true with multiplication, okay? The associative property, and I bet you've seen this before in 5th or 6th grade for sure. The associative property has to do with grouping numbers together. So I'm going to put parentheses there to help me think about grouping. And let's say I had a problem like this. What if I had like, 73 plus 49 and then plus negative 49, like that. Okay, and I'm putting parentheses just to surround this number. Just be aware, a lot of times we do that, and that parentheses really has nothing to do with grouping. Okay, now I come along, I'm like, zoom, I'm coming along, and please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, order of operations says go from left to right. So I start with 73, then I see I got to add 49. Yuck, I'm going to have to carry and keep track of stuff. And then I see, ooh, negative 49. You know what? If instead of going left to right and I group these guys together first, do you see what's so awesome about 49 and negative 49? Opposites. Those guys make a 0. And right now, to me, this is way easier to add those two together first and not go left to right, because I can just get to 73 because 49 and negative 49 wipe each other out. So sometimes, instead of just going straight left to right, see if you can group things differently to make things a little bit easier. Let's see what we've got for you, okay? Read through this first one. Over a period of 4 hours, the temperature rose 3 degrees, rose 2 degrees, dropped 4, and dropped 1. If the starting temperature was negative 2 degrees Fahrenheit or 2 below, what was the temperature after 4 hours? Here's my starting number. Okay, I'm at negative 2 degrees. Let's go back here. It rose 3. That means add 3. It rose another 2 plus 2. It dropped 4 degrees. So I'm going to go down or like subtract, think that, and then dropped 1 more. So now it's saying, now where are we at? What's the temperature now? So now we need to solve all of this string of many steps of addition and subtraction. Now, me personally, here's what I like to think of first. Plus 3, plus 2. Ooh, when I see subtract 4, I like to think of add the opposite. So I'm going to write it this way. Adding, so I'm adding negative 4 because I'm thinking subtracting a number is the same as adding its opposite. I'm going to do the same thing with this subtract 1. Subtraction means add the opposite, and that opposite of 1 would be -1. Now, your textbook is always going to put parentheses around these guys so that you don't see a plus minus right in a row and get confused. All right, from here, you can go to town. There are so many different ways you can do this. Some people like to work left to right. So they would start with -2 and they would add 3 to get a +1. And then they would keep chugging down the line. All right. Some people would say, hey, I'm going to use that commutative property and move things around. And they might take this -2 and fling it on back here with the other negatives and add those like ones together and add the 3 and the 2 together. Or you might have some people that would say, hey, I'm going to do some grouping here and see if that makes it easier. Pause, see which way you like to do it, and see what you come up with. All right, here's one thing you could do. One thing you could do is say, all right, I know that +3 and +2 make a +5. I still have -2 in front. And then I come here, and if you take those two together, -4 and -1 more is a -5. And then I'm going to group these two and say, oh my stars, they go to 0. -2 plus 0 is just -2. Now, you don't have to do it that way. That's just one way you can employ these properties to make it a little easier. Look at the next one. What is the total change in May's checking account if she writes a $35 check for shoes? Okay, hang on. If you write a check, you're spending money. That means you are decreasing your account. And then we're going to deposit. Deposit means add. We're going to add 50. And then she writes another check because she's buying a sweater. Okay. Now, I've told you, I do not like to think of subtraction. I like to change all of my subtraction to adding the opposite. Subtracting 55 is the same as adding a -55. Okay, now go to town and see which way you like to do it. Some people might want to take that -35 and +50 and do that part first. Some people might want to switch things up and put the -35 and the -55 first, and then add that 50. And over here, then add -55. Some people might do the 50 and the -55 first and tackle it that way, and then deal with that -35 out front after you group those two together with the associative property. Whichever way you do it, it's all going to lead you to, well, let's see. This way would give me a +15 plus a -55, which is -40. This way, if I do these two first, that would give me -90 plus a +50. Different signs, find the difference, you get -40. And this way, if I do these two guys first, I get -5. This is -35. And when I combine those two together, I get -40. It doesn't matter. Keep track of your signs. Get your totals. Oop, in round 1 of a game, a student loses 5 points. That's subtract. Loses 3 points. Gains 17 points. And loses 7. What is the student's score at the end of round 1? Well, let's see. All right, so round 1. So we're just starting like at 0. So we're just going to start right away. Losing 5, losing 3, gaining 17, losing 7. Here we go. Like I said, I like to keep this -3 as a plus -3. Change everything to addition And I think it makes it a lot easier. And maybe after a while, you'll get so automatic with it, it'll just be awesome. Well, I'm just going to do it this way, left to right. A -5 and a -3 gives me a -8. And then you know what? I'm going to combine these two together because I see 17 and a -7 would give me +10. So I end up with, oops, not -2, +2 points. Cool. Next. Oh, straightforward. Find the value of this. Hey, pause the video for a second. Check your answer. Hey, notice I like to write it instead of -6. Think of sticking that negative sign right with that 6. And let's go from here. I'm just going to go left to right. +4. Then I'm going to group these two together. I can do that by the associative property. And that's a +2. Hey, that should give me 6. Is that what you got? Hope so. Which one's bigger? Careful. We better evaluate each of these. Let's see, on this side, 40 and a -16. I'm just going to work left to right. That gives me 24. Add 10 more, 34. On this side, I'm just going to work left to right. That gives me a -2, and now I have to add 30. This gives me 28. Ah, this guy's bigger by about 6. Oh, the Raiders were on their 20-yard line, so I'm starting at the 20. On the next 4 plays, they gained 1 yard, +1, lost 8 yards, that's a minus, lost 12 yards, that's a -12, oops, sorry for that goob, and gained 24. All right, 20 + 1. Now, if you want, you can go left to right. Again, I get really kind of weird about subtraction. I kind of like having everything written as addition. So instead of -8, I think subtracting means adding the opposite. Subtracting means adding the opposite of 12. That's -12. All right, you decide. Oh, do you see what I see? If I grouped these two give me -8 and -12, -20. That would totally obliterate this +20. Let me get this all brought on down here. So now look, +20 and adding -20 goes to 0. Look what's left. Score! You know what? I should go back and label that. So let's do that. This should really say not just 25, but it says from what yard line. We should say the next play is on the 25-yard line. If I really want you to write a full sentence, I will tell you that. Today we'll just do it this way. Tanya made a deposit of $250 into her checking account. That means she's adding it in, okay? Now, as I read, then she withdrew 55. That's going to be a subtract. Add, subtract. The next day she wrote a check for 145. That's subtract again. She had 350 in her account before any of these transactions. Okay. Tanya, you've got 350 bucks. The first thing she does is she's making a deposit of 250. That's that one. Then she made a withdrawal. She withdrew or took out $55. And then she wrote a check. That's another subtract of 145. Now we need to find what she has left. Well, here's what I'm going to do. First thing, I'm going to add these two together, which gives me exactly 600, 350 plus 250. And then I need to say subtract 55. I'm going to write adding negative 55. Subtracting 145, add the opposite, negative 145. Now, you could go left to right if you want, totally fine. Or what I'm going to do, because I happen to see that if I grouped these two together, that negative 55 and negative 145 is the same as negative 200. And I have a positive 600, and that leaves me with exactly positive 400. Now, we were talking about money. Make that say money. Write down everything. Read the words carefully to make sure you have the right sign. Is it a positive movement or change, or negative? Is it a negative change? Please make sure you label your answers if it's a word problem. Okay? I think that's it. Look to Schoology for your assignment, and as always, may the force be with you.